From the first American cents of the 1790s, through the Civil War era, to Abraham Lincoln's rise from a Kentucky log cabin to the presidency, Lincoln's image became permanently connected with American coinage in 1909. The famous memorial design followed in 1959, and by 2025, the penny had reached the end of its circulating production era. But here's where this gets interesting. The three coins I'm showing you today have a potential top-end figure of around $15,000 each in extraordinary circumstances, but only if the right condition, variety, minting error, or certification is present. So don't judge these coins by their face value. One tiny detail could change everything. Now let's begin with the first coin. At first glance, this may look like nothing more than an ordinary Lincoln Memorial cent, but experienced collectors know that the date, mint mark, condition, surface quality, and possible varieties can completely change the story. The obverse carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. That portrait has remained one of the most recognizable images in American coinage since Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, the design that replaced the original wheat reverse in 1959. Now look carefully at the coin. The first thing you want to examine is the overall condition. Is Lincoln's portrait sharp? Are the letters clean?
Does the coin still have original red color? Are there scratches, spots, stains, or signs of cleaning? These details matter enormously when collectors determine the grade. Then check the mint mark. The D tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, but simply having a D does not automatically make the coin rare. In fact, ordinary examples can be worth only a small amount above face value. However, condition is where the story becomes much more interesting. A truly exceptional high-grade example can attract serious collector attention. PCG's records show that an outstanding 1981 D has reached thousands of dollars at auction, demonstrating that even a common-looking memorial cent can become dramatically more valuable when preservation and grade reach an exceptional level. And this is why you should never look at an old penny and immediately say, "It's only 1 cent." Before you spend it, examine the surfaces. Look around Lincoln's hair, jawline, lettering, and the memorial building. On the reverse, inspect the columns and the tiny details between the lettering. And most importantly, don't clean it. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and potentially reduce collector value. So could this coin be a $15,000 coin? Not as an ordinary example. That figure should be treated as a maximum-style attention-grabbing possibility for an extraordinary specimen, not a guaranteed market value. The real value depends on authentication, grade, condition, and whether an important variety or error is present. And that's exactly what makes this hobby so exciting. Now let's move to the second coin. This one comes from the early 1990s, but don't let its relatively recent age fool you. Collectors know that modern coins can become valuable when they contain unusual characteristics. Again, start with Lincoln's portrait. Look carefully at the cheek, jaw, hair, and fields around the portrait. You're searching for unusual doubling, dye damage, scratches, machine damage, or other characteristics that might deserve closer examination. Now flip the coin over. There is the Lincoln Memorial. This reverse was used for nearly half a century, from 1959 through 2008. That makes memorial cents one of the most familiar American coins ever produced. But familiarity does not mean every example is worthless. In fact, the 1990s contained several interesting Lincoln cent varieties. NGC specifically notes that certain memorial cents from this era can have wide M and close M varieties, while other dates in the series have significant double die varieties. So with this coin, the important question isn't simply what year is it. The better question is, what exactly am I looking at? Check the lettering. Check the spacing. Check the area around the word America on the reverse. Look closely at the details of the lettering and the overall strike. And once again, condition is extremely important.
PCG's auction data shows that an exceptional 1991 D example has reached a 5-figure auction result. That does not mean every 1991 D cent is worth $11,400, but it proves why condition and certification can matter so much. Imagine finding a coin that looks ordinary to everyone else, but under magnification you discover an unusual characteristic. That's the moment collectors live for. And that is why these coins deserve to be examined before they disappear into a cash register. Could an extraordinary specimen approach a headline figure such as $15,000? Potentially, depending on the exact variety, grade, and authentication, but never assume that value without professional verification. The coin has to prove itself. And now we reach the third coin. This one is especially interesting because many people would probably look at it and immediately assume there is nothing special about it. But coin collecting teaches us an important lesson. Rare doesn't always mean old. The 1998 D. Lincoln cent is a memorial cent, and its reverse belongs to the final decade of the memorial design. But there's something collectors should know. The late 1990s contains several interesting Lincoln cent varieties involving the relationship between the letters in America. NGC identifies wide M and close M varieties among the Lincoln cents of this era, including the 1998 issues. So, this is where your magnifying glass becomes your best friend. Turn the coin over. Move slowly toward the lettering. Look at the A and M in America.
Don't rely on your eyes from several inches away. Use magnification and compare the coin with trusted references. Then inspect the coin's color. A copper-colored appearance alone doesn't tell you the grade. Look for original mint surfaces, sharp details, minimal marks, and strong luster. And remember, a coin can look beautiful but still have problems that affect its value. PCG's auction data lists an exceptional 1998 D example at a much lower figure than some of the headline-grabbing Lincoln cent records. That is an important reminder. $15,000 is not the normal value of a 1998 D cent. But the exciting part is the possibility of discovering something unusual, a rare variety, an important mint error, an exceptionally high grade, or a combination of characteristics that makes the coin worthy of professional certification. That is when an ordinary-looking penny can become a serious collector piece. And here's something even more fascinating. The Lincoln cent didn't simply disappear after the memorial design. In 2009, the Mint released 4 different reverse designs honoring major stages of Lincoln's life. And in 2010, the Shield reverse became the new standard design. So the 3 coins we're looking at today are part of a much larger American story. From the first cents of the 1790s, to Lincoln's birth in 1809, to his presidency and the Civil War, to his assassination in 1865, to his appearance on the cent in 1909, and finally to the end of circulating penny production in 2025. The Lincoln cent became much more than money. It became a piece of American history. And that's why you should always check your old cents carefully. You may not have a $15,000 coin, but you might have something unusual. And sometimes, one tiny detail is all it takes to turn a common coin into a collector's discovery. So before you spend that old Lincoln cent, check it first.